Hello dearies, welcome to the craft kitchen. Today with a rather small thrift haul. We went thrifting in the Netherlands on Friday, so 3 days ago, and let's just say our trip was a bit bumpy. So first, when we started here, we picked up my hubby's ex-colleague, who's retired since this month because she actually is collecting glass marbles, preferably the old ones, of course. So more or less antique. And the prices for these marbles in Germany are, ridiculous. And then, when we finally arrived at the Autobahn, we realized, okay, it's Friday, but there's a lot of traffic. But, of course, we continued our journey to the Netherlands. Then we arrived in Anhalt, which is about 1.5 hours by car from here after 2 hours. And we have never been to this thrift shop before. And to be honest, entering this shop already felt a bit like a disappointment. Not only because of the ambience, but also because of the rather empty looking shelves. But I managed to get some stationery from there. So first I picked up those 2 notebooks with these really thin pages. We don't have those in Germany, so they are lined blue, and here is this red line. And the paper is the tiniest bit thinner than the paper we have for notebooks in Germany. I also already know coffee dyeing this will make a bit of a mess because the lines on here will discolor. But in this case, this is actually what I'm looking for. So 20 cents each. And when you have a look at this, I think the covers already look a bit like, those of the old black and white notebooks. I forgot the name of those just now. But I like the covers, and the paper's really nice. Then I found this paper pad. Well, this originally is from Action, and I already have one of those paper pads, of course. For this one, for mine, I've paid, I don't know, I guess it was €4 and this was 50 cents. And the paper inside, it already says luxury cardstock, but the paper just looks like linen paper in here. I really like it. So the difference between those is, well, first, I, for some reason, don't get them anymore at Action. Either they're always sold out when I'm there, or they simply don't have this paper anymore. But when you take a close look, this is my pad, so quite wide. This is already a bit aged, but only 1 sheet of white paper. And I do have, a lot of this white paper left. Few sheets. I already started to coffee dye this, but in the back I only have 2 sheets of this manila colored textured cardstock left, and this one actually is the only white one. And just look at this. So this yellow paper in here, it's actually all sheets left. Yay! And this is again much more aged than mine is. I love it. So 50 cents, of course I took it. Then, didn't open this yet, ring binder paper. I don't know if, no, this has a weight on it. So it's been 100 sheets. It's not anymore, I already can tell you. I'd say it's about, well, 25 sheets left for 50 cents. And I actually took this because of the ring binding holes. And this is really thin paper. Like I told you, you don't get something like this in Germany. And again, of course, the lines will discolor when I coffee dye them, but I don't care. I love it. So also I picked up those tab files, also 50 cents. All of them are still in here, none is used. So let me open this. But the reason I took them, they are all made of brown craft card. And no, it's only one. It should be. No, it's not two. It just looked like it because you still can see the cutting impression here. So yes, those are dyed sheets actually, not cut. But all of them last and quite sturdy craft card. And again, this, I guess it's 23 hole. Yeah, a 23 hole ring bound system. So yeah, I really like it. And the color of those is just great. You get them in Germany as well, but not for 23 holes. I guess it's 16 holes here. But when you get some of those made of cardstock, they are, yeah, all manila colored or even color coded. So red, blue, yellow, green and white. No. I really like those. And funny thing is, this company, HEMA, we get this in Germany as well. So products from this company. But it seems they're making different sorts of products for different countries. So yeah, I was lucky. Well, you could say those are quite some prices for those items. And I agree. But I also got a compensation for these prices because I don't know if you know those magazine holders. It's been 50 cents for two, completely packed. Of course, I already have some magazine holders, but they are, yeah, a bit more flimsy, I'd say. So if you put your craft papers in there, they will eventually tear here at the folds and maybe at the bottom, because they're just made of corrugated cardboard, yes? But those, I already have some boxes of this series from IKEA, but for some reason I didn't manage to get some of those magazine holders at IKEA as long as they were still in their, what's it called, sales program? Is what I would translate it to from German. I have no idea. So they don't have them any longer. Let me unpack this. And I really love them because this is really sturdy cardboard. Or it's really cardboard, but not corrugated. That's really nice. So it's two of them. And then you have those sort of corner protectors separately. So when you have folded them up and put them together, you just put some corner protectors here and here. They are just great. And also they do have those. Well, I already can tell those are the newer ones because the original design was silver, but I don't care. I really like the sturdiness of those because my boxes, I pull them out like every day. One box holds, so it's an A4 box, very high, I'd say like at least 12 centimeters in height. This holds all my photographs from the last maybe 30-35 years, so a lot. And it's still very sturdy, so yeah, I'm lucky. Two for 50 cents. this is just great. I have no remembrance of what they were actually priced at IKEA. I just know that the boxes, so the A4 big boxes, one of them was 12 euros. And I bought them anyway because this is quite sturdy. So, and because this was rather a disappointment, I told my husband, we're going to go to Alten, to Dorcas Winkel. Dorcas is a Dutch chain, sort of, not sort of, it's a charity shop chain. And I really love it. We've been there the last time, and this paper is what I picked up the last time, so 4 or 5 weeks ago. Mind you, I will never have to buy glossy photo paper again. I mean, this is not completely full, so it's been 50 sheets. I would say it's still 35 for 250. Then this, satin paper, 15 sheets for 50 cents. Again, 15 sheets of glossy paper for 50 cents. And I already opened this for test printing. 50 sheets. Well, I'd say it's still, at least 15. Again, for €1. I guess it was 22 before I opened it up. So I thought, I found so many goodies there, so let's go to Alten. Well, we had to find out, we still had 30 minutes left until closing time. Ooh. So, believe me, it was a bit hectic, but my hubby's colleague was able to get, well, at least 3.5 kilograms of glass marbles there. Glass and also ceramic sort of marbles. So she told me they are quite old, and she was happy. She also got 2 big glass vases there to display her marbles, her new marbles, and all this for 13 euros. She would have paid 13 euros alone for about 60 marbles. So let's say about 750 grams here in Germany. So yeah, that was a great find for her. Well, for me, at first I thought, not that much. But since I found all those photo paper at Dorcas the last time we've been there, I thought, so let's go directly to the stationery shelf. And again, a bit pricey because I'm going to try and show you. This has been a pack of 50 sheets of writing paper, original writing paper for airmail correspondence used in Europe, and 25 envelopes. Well, 125 for, I don't know, maybe 10 sheets of paper, 15 and 5 or 6 envelopes left is quite a price, but these will go very well with my lab book because they are already vintage. I'd say from the writing on this and also the aging of the boo-boo tape on here, so like Margaret and Tony called it, OG boo-boo tape. This is from the 80s, maybe early 90s, and you also can see the writing. I don't know if you can get this. The original writing here on this thin paper. Just look at this yummy grunge. Yay! Also down here. And then you have this really thin airmail paper with the lined paper in between. So yeah, it's not much left, but I am really, really happy I found this. So I was sort of okay with the price because, I mean, it's vintage already and you don't find this that often here in Europe. And yeah, then I went to the bookcases. Didn't find that much, but I'm going to tell you about this after I've shown you what I found in the craft section. So some of those items are not that spectacular, like this here. These are just mini 3D foam pieces, 5 by 5 millimeters, 1 millimeter in height. So yeah, quite thin. 25 cents, and I thought, let's take this because why not? I mean, you can use this. Then, oh, there's so much here. I found this box of wooden beads I'm gonna be using for a custom ordered Kwanzaa journal. Let me see if I can take this off. Well, more or less for 75 cents. Well, I can use the beads as well as this box. Let me find the opening here. There you are. I can use the beads as well. Oh, there's another piece of tape here as the box itself, and also there are some jewelry making pieces in here, some hardware pieces I can use to make dangles. So yeah, 75 cents is quite alright for this. And then something a bit newer. I actually only bought because of this wooden spool. I unpacked it to show my son this branding. I like it. For 50 cents. I mean, this sort of lace you get everywhere, but this wooden spool is quite nice. It has no paper on it. I love it. So this, and yeah, then the real fun began. So we are calling those hooks and eyes in Germany. I guess in Dutch it's the same. Let me unpack this. For 25 cents, guys. 25 cents. I didn't unpack it, but I already can tell this one, this set here, is from the 50s, and it also says made in England. Yay! There. Because my grandmother had those. Then those push buttons from Germany. I also know this packaging from the 60s. Here it says Haken en Ogen, so hooks and eyes, for I guess it was 35 cents, I don't know. This is Dutch. They are some hooks missing here, I just found. Well, okay. They are all sewn on to this yummy packaging. Look at this crunch here, this aging, yay! Then some of those. Here are only the eyes left. The hooks are missing. Again, yummy! And this is also a British brand. To Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth, of course. Great! And all this for 25 cents. Yay! And then I found a needle keeper for 75 cents. So really old one. Has some discoloration here. I don't really like the red, but it is what it is. Also, someone might have put sort of ink or a ball pen mine in here. I don't know. So there's some ink in the lid. Also here at the rim. But this is actually a needle case for 75 cents, and this is at least from the 50s. I love it. And then I really found a treasure. So when I was rummaging through the boxes, because I only had about 10 minutes left, I found some yarn cards. Those you use, this yarn you're using to repair your woolen socks. So this is woolen yarn. And I thought 25 cents for 3. And then I discovered this one. I already unpacked this at the car to show our companion why I bought this for 25 cents. Because those are not that interesting. Well, those are actually because they are from the 70s, I'd say. But those, well, here's an edge missing, but I don't mind. For those you pay at least €1 to €1.50 each. And I've paid 25 cents for 3. But there's more. So I found 2 others for 25 cents each. And first I saw this one here. I already unpacked all of them to show my son, because he already knows the worth of those things, most of those things. So yeah, again, those are the newer ones. Not that interesting, but 2 of those. Well, these could be because the design didn't change much from the 30s to 50s. I don't know. Those are from the 60s or 70s, and I love those cards. Well, I don't have that much use for the darning wool, but you know what? I can make feelers for butterflies with them. I'm going to show you. So we do have those. Then again, another package with 5 of those cards for 25 cents. With 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in really the best condition. Absolutely brilliant. Well, this one, so where the corners are a bit damaged, but I don't care. So those, and then I found this package for 75 cents with 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 of them inside. See? 1, 2 of those. Then again, the newer Regia. The old ones, Regia. And again, 3 of those. So I told you, you're paying about €1 to €1.50 each for one of those cards. So let's say €1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Well, let's say 14. 14 euros at least here in my hand. Then again 50 cents to €1, so let's say 1.50 together. So about 15 euros here. And I've paid €1.50 for all of them. This is just great. Yeah. Yeah, for the books. I went to the bookshelves and I actually found 2 very old Bibles, but guys, I'm never ever going to cut apart a Bible, a Quran, a Talmud, whatever. Never. And I also found 6 or 7 of those collectible albums. Margaret sometimes finds, but since I've seen her video where she accidentally took off one of the cards, and on the back side was a beautiful advertisement I'm of course looking for those. Yeah, I found 6 or 7. The covers looked quite old, so they were fabric bound, but the backsides of the pictures, all of them were just white, and the pictures were more on the cutesy side, so not really my style. I also browsed through some antique books, but they only had text, and I already do have a lot of books with only text. And also the covers weren't that spectacular, but what I found in the books were actually treasures. So this postcard is from 1950. Well, stamped in Amsterdam, sorry Margaret. And it costed 2 cents to deliver this. And look at the back. So when I translate this correctly, this is an advertisement for a fabric manufacturer who makes lightning rods, and it says here we don't make those kinds of lightning rods, so with the umbrella, but yeah, for all sorts of buildings, churches, fabrics, etc., etc. This is just too cute. And then those 2 pieces, so this stamped ephemera, and I don't know, I guess this is a really thick piece of sort of blotting paper or packaging paper used as blotting paper to go over here. But on the other hand, this is mirrored. I have no idea. Someone tried to stamp, someone really tried to stamp this stamp onto here. And when I was at the checkout, I asked, I found those in 2 of your antique books. Can I keep them? Yes, of course. We have no use for them. Yay! Of course I have. Those are great. So, and then we've been to the little town. That's actually the reason why we only drive on Friday to the Netherlands. I've been living about 4 or 5 kilometers away from this small town on the other side of the border in Germany, and I was able to drive by city bus to their weekly market on Friday. So yeah, we're going there for sort of nostalgia. And mind you, whoa. Well, already this has been a really hectic journey, but arriving at Dingsperlo, whoa. I already was aware after we've been to Dorcas, it was really crowded in there, very unusual, that it would be a bit more busy on the market, on the weekly market, because in Germany we had a bank holiday on Thursday and most people, had a bridge day on Friday. But also, and that's what I forgot, we've been directly at the border. So obviously many people from the Netherlands are working in Germany, and some Germans, or many people from Germany, are working in the Netherlands. So all of the Dutch people who are working, or most of the Dutch people who are working in Germany, had a bridge day on Friday. So yeah, very busy on the weekly market. And on top of that, they had a street festival, with all sorts of auto scooter and whatnot. And I don't know, loud music from 4 or 5 directions at the same time. So this is already not funny, and even less funny for 3 people with autism. So I've been trying to maneuver my husband's colleague, who is, let's say, just able to live alone, through all those people, away from the noise. It was horrible. So we managed to get to the other side of the church. In Germany, the marketplaces, in Europe, the marketplaces are mostly around churches. So we managed to come to the other side of the marketplace. It was a bit more quiet so we didn't hear the music anymore. But yeah, still a lot of people. We had sort of a late lunch on the marketplace, and then I was like, do you mind if I go in there this time? Finally, because directly at this marketplace there is a shop called Hodgepodge. I don't know if you know the concept. There is a shop and you can rent their tables or shelves to display things you want to sell, and you just pay the tiniest bit of rent and also a bit of provision for every article they sell for you. So, and yeah, first time I went in there on Friday, and I found those from Annette for Crea. So she's selling craft supplies in the Netherlands, so also in this shop in a shop. And I thought, for this price, $2.25, the Sukineko Brilliance ink, I'm going to dry it. This is to dry this. This is sort of shimmery ink in Cosmic Copper. And then for $1.95 Versa-Magic chalk ink, yeah, why not try it finally out? And I have to keep this here to remember the prices. So this was by Annette for Crea, so more in the section for the handicrafters. Then you also had a section for private sellers, and what I found there was just cute. So look at this. This is so tiny, and whenever I need a paper trimmer for a smaller thing, I'm going to place this here on my desk, and I will find a space for it. Will find room for it. I already tried the cutter. It's really nice. I've been cutting a thicker piece of cardstock with this. Absolutely cute. I couldn't find out the brand, but what I found at home then, it also has this. This is too cute. So this goes from, yeah, of course, 0 to 24 centimeters. It's less than A4, but it is just great. I love it. So this was €2. That's why I kept this here. So I remember the price, because here on this were price labels with the numbers of the shelf and the price. And at the checkout, she took the labels off, the price labels off. So yeah, my helper. And what I also found, this one. This actually is a stamp. I really like it, and this was $1.50. That's why I kept it with this one. Also, private seller. It has been used, I'd say not that often, because, yeah, the wood on here is still very, feels just new. So let's give it a try. And because this is is supposed to be a more grungy background, I'm gonna be using not distress oxide. Let's use another dye ink, Memento. Stamping with dye inks is more of, the grungy effect. You don't get that much of a clear imprint. Let's see. Some piece of waste paper. I guess I didn't put that much ink here. At least it looks like it. Well, it's quite hard. I have no idea what the brand of this is. Yay! Really, I like it. So finally a texture stamp that gives you a bit of grungy texture. Or me. I don't have something like this yet. Or I didn't have. Now I do have. And this is... I see. I guess it's the size. I really do have quite big hands. So, yeah, maybe the size was a problem. I could even take it like this, comfortably. But yeah, maybe the size has been a problem. Also with this one. This is so cute. Yeah. And, well, I told you about my book situation already. And I'm going to be showing you why I don't mind having no luck in the Netherlands on Friday with some books. Now, I am very, very lucky. We have an open book closet or open bookshelf in our city. And I, visit this bookshelf quite often. Well, every time I'm in town, so about every 2 or 3 weeks. And I do have a lot of books from there in my shelf. Already taken apart, some of them, just for the pages, keeping the covers because, some people are quite generous placing their books in there. Because this one, for example, can you read it? You can. I found, I'd say, 5 or 6 months ago, maybe. So this, is a German dictionary. German, English, English, German. It's both in here and it looks quite new. It is from 1968, the 12th edition. No, 1972, 4th impression of the 12th edition. And it has one of those very old ISBN numbers. The original print is from 1957. And you can tell why this book has been re-edited very often because, it's a dictionary, and language changes over the years. And I've been using this book to find an idea for the letter Z video for ABC April. And this is too funny. I opened it up and, when you open a book up at the letter Z, or a dictionary with for the letter Z in German language, you will have pages over pages. But this is what I found in this book. Zoom lens. That's it. This is so funny. And this is the edition, okay? And then I was like, okay, there has to be more. No. So the letter Z is very rare in English. Like I told you, there would be, I don't know, at least 20 pages in German. And what I also found a few weeks ago, I guess it was 3 weeks ago, is this book from Theodor Groll, who actually was a painter, an architectural painter, quite nice pictures. And he wrote, I think it was 4 books. Amongst others, this one, which says Gerstiaden. And I was like, what? Because this is not a German word. But when I opened it, I was like, what? Citterlin? You call this German Gothic. We call it Citterlin because that's the name for the writing. And then I looked at the year 1933. And the owner was J. Fehrenbach in 1934. Or it was gifted from Mr. or Mrs. Fehrenbach in 1934 to someone. I don't know. So Groll wrote this book, which is a satiric book, actually, in the 1870s, I'd say, to honor Pastor Friedrich Gerst. So, and I found out that Friedrich Gerst was a pastor in a jail and was befriended with Theodor Groll. And to honor his late friend, he wrote those poems that actually tell the stories Pastor Gerst told Theodor Groll, the funny stories in rhymes. But, and here comes the really complicated part for me, I can read this, but still I don't understand most of the words. Because this is written in the dialect spoken here in our region. Actually, in Germany we do have more than 52 dialects and counting, because no one really knows. And most of the time, people from about 50 kilometers away from each other don't understand each other if they don't speak this high German language everyone's learning at school. So this is written in one of those dialects, and I'm still trying to figure out what's this all about, but it's funny. Some parts I understand, but some parts no. And also it's not only written in this regional dialect, it's also a very old language. So more or less old German plus dialect. It's very complicated. So, well, I don't know if I'm going to be taking this apart by this. Wow, this is just great. You know, having those pages in a junk journal is already pretty, right? So you do have the poem and the Sütterlin writing here on the page. This is really pretty. I will have to ask my daughter's father-in-law if he understands what's written here, because he is from here. So dearies, this was my very small thrift haul, but yeah, just like those, I guess I found some treasures. I'm going to honor those. No, I'm not. To honor those would mean I would hoard them again, but I really want to use them in my vintage journals, because you just take a bit of this wool off, just leave, I don't know, 3 or 4 rounds on here, and you don't have to decorate the back sides, because they are looking already really yummy, grungy and all, right? Dearies, the next video will be, again, a video continuing making the lab book. Hopefully I will see you then, and until then, as always, stay creative and be excellent to each other.